do it. Let's do it. Super exciting.
Okay, so all my favorite people are basically on the slate. So we're bringing on the next group, but starting first with Ari Ackerman, who has been such a voice for the Jewish people on social media, become a superstar, but he can't walk down the street anymore without getting recognized. Ari, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
I got to tell you, I have goosebumps from the show so far. That video you just showed. Oh my God. You guys are really crushing this.
Amazing, right, Ari? I mean, those are the ones that are, the Eden and Eli and Bella, and it's just unbelievable, right? What they're doing.
I mean, the future is bright, as you just said. Those guys, wow. I mean, I was not like that in college. I can admit that. I can tell you. I mean, they are such great leaders, and what you two are doing, Jamie and Rabbi Elliott, I'm so proud to be part of this. Like, really, I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
You're amazing.
I just want to say one quick thing. Ari, when I reached out to Ari, I think we did an Aish.com interview with Ari about all the amazing work that he's doing out there. Ari is a successful businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He is an investor. He doesn't need to be involved with this stuff, right? He is out there successful in so many ways. He's a minority owner of the Miami Marlins, and he has used his platform in so many ways to advocate for the Jewish people. And so Aish.com, we did an article with him, and I reached out afterwards, and I'm like, Ari, we need you to get involved with this. And he was like, sign me up. I'm in. And I just want to say one last thing before we move on is that I know Ari's been getting a lot of flack on Instagram, and even having some issues with people trying to get people to not follow him. So I'm giving him a big shout out. Everyone should go and follow Ari on Instagram at Ari Acker, right? That's what it is, ARIACKER, right? Go and follow Ari because he deserves it. And we're excited that you're part of this Aisha movement, Ari.
Again, I'll say honored to be part of this. Like, that means so much to me. And, yes, I do a lot of stuff online, but we all need to be doing that. This is our obligation right now as Jewish people. We're in the fight for the survival of our people. I truly believe that. And everybody has a platform, no matter the size, and we all need to use our platform to fight right now. This is our moment in time.
So we fight back now by following Ari. Ari, we have so much faith in you that, it's 3:45 a.m. here in Israel. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to let you take over the show. And you're going to interview two of my favorite people in the world. So this was a big sacrifice for me. So big hugs and love to Lizzy and Tanya. I love you. I love you. Ari, the show is yours.
Jamie, had to take a 15-minute nap. You deserve it. Are they on? Are Lizzy and Tanya on?
Ari.
Oh, Lizzy, Tanya. Oh, you guys are together. I love it.
We're never not together. Even when we're apart, we're together. Dream team.
It's the only problem is I have like little FOMO watching you guys. Like, I think it's the first night we haven't been to. I haven't seen one of you two in the last few weeks. But hello, guys. Great to see you. So yeah, I'll be interviewing you guys. Happy to ask you a few questions here. Let's talk about you guys to start off. Like, you're successful in your lives. I just got the gracious introduction from Rabbi Elliott, who talked about my background. Lizzy, your background as a fashion influencer, accessories expert. Tanya, obviously internationally known dietitian, the creator of the F Factor diet. This was before, you guys, bravo, deserve it.
It feels like another lifetime, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said it feels like another lifetime.
It does. This last year has been 10 years, but we'll talk about that. But you guys now have pivoted so beautifully to be Jewish advocates. Mm-hmm. So tell us, like, what was your light bulb moment? What happened that changed your lives? I mean, aside from October 7th, the obvious, obviously, but you guys were doing it before. And, what was the moment that you have felt most proud since October 7th? That somebody said to you something or somebody's done something where you're like, wow, this is really my true calling.
You want me to go first? Sure. Okay.
Sure.
My light bulb moment, I would say, was in the spring of 2021. I was already talking about Israel and being Jewish online, but it wasn't the main course, if you will, to use a dietary reference of my platform. And what happened was there was an attack from Hamas, a barrage of rockets, and it killed a number of civilians in Israel. And of course, I was horrified, just like most Jewish people across the world were. But what shocked me so much was that within, hours of Israel's response to this horrific attack, I saw my fellow social media influencers, I saw celebrities, I saw mainstream media jump to demonize Israel. And I think it was the first time that I really saw how overwhelming the double standard that Israel is held to is. And just seeing people that I had respected for so many years taking a stand against Israel without even having any direct knowledge themselves, and regurgitating all these falsehoods, which is so dangerous. And then, of course, we saw what we see now, which is after Israel's demonized, a wave of anti-Semitism throughout the world. So I didn't know what to do. I don't have a background in this. I didn't go to school for this. But I felt like if I don't take a stand, I can't be counting on anyone else to do it, because I wasn't really seeing anyone else do it. So I did. And it was one pivotal post, one pivotal moment that I actually just looked back at recently. I wrapped myself in the Israeli flag. And it's so funny because at the time I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm posting this. It's so controversial. And I was looking at it, and it's actually the most benign post about my love for Israel and the truth for Israel. But that was the post that broke the internet at the time. I suffered a lot of consequences from it, and ended up really changing the course of my whole life and career, not intentionally. I got dropped by my management company. People didn't want to work with me anymore, and I lost a ton of followers. And so I figured, you know what, if I can't stand up for my people and my homeland, and maintain this career path, then like, what does this career even mean anyway? And so I just doubled down. It was pretty painful for a while, but I was very blessed that on October 7th, when I was in the bomb shelter with my husband, I had 2.5 years of experience in talking about Israel and talking about anti-Semitism. And so it was, I felt fortunate like that I had that. And I knew exactly the pattern that would happen. I'd say the thing I'm most proud of this past year, I just celebrated my daughter's bat mitzvah last weekend. Tanya was with me the whole weekend. Ari, you were there too. And just, I think in the same way that there was no manual for doing this job, there was no manual for how to parent through this past year, especially to my young kids. And I didn't know what the right answer was. My kids, the things that they saw and heard in Israel on October 7th, there was no coming back from that. And they definitely lost a piece of their innocence that day. And I did the only thing I knew how to do, which was to involve them in our family business, which is the internet advocacy business. And they really did. They really committed their whole selves, their whole hearts and souls to our people in this fight. And it doesn't matter how old you are. And just watching Stella, my oldest daughter who had her bat mitzvah, really feel so empowered at her, she feels like a woman. She grew up so much this year. And there's nothing more special to me in the world than seeing my kids really feel comfortable, confident, and come into their own. Of all the career accomplishments I've had, nothing can touch that feeling.
Amazing. The bar mitzvah was very special. I'll talk about it in 1 second. But Tanya, I want to hear from you. What your light bulb and what are you most proud of? What happened this year?
So my light bulb moment was October 8th. On October 7th, I sat with shock and horror, as did every single Jewish person on the planet. What we witnessed was the most vile, brutal terrorist attack on the Jewish people in the history of the state of Israel. And I think my expectation, understandably, was on October 8th, there would be an outpouring of support for Jewish people in the diaspora, for Israel. And I could not believe that in less than 24 hours, Israel was being demonized. Rather than being viewed as the victim, Israel was viewed as the oppressor, committing a genocide, terms like colonialism. And I think for me, it was just so important to try and impact the way that people were viewing Israel, not with my emotions, but just to give facts. So I started to create educational content based on the history of Israel, based on the Israel in the present. And, I think that, Ari, you said it best. This does feel like an existential crisis, and it is, all hands on deck. My background is in health and wellness, and I have spent almost every day since October 8th using my platform to not only create my own content, but to amplify the content of others in order to increase awareness. So we give Israel a fighting chance in the public. It's really frustrating when people say that Israel, has never played the PR game particularly well. And it's because that's not really Israel's focus. It's, when you know who you are, you don't have to constantly confess it to the world. And in that way, I think that, when people say Israel from a PR standpoint is losing, what I know to be true is at the end of the day, God sees all. And I know we are fighting this war in the most humanitarian way. I feel that as the Jewish people, we can be so proud of how we are handling something that truly is putting the future of Israel at stake. So, for me, the day that I realized that I needed to use my platform in any small way possible was really just based on the world response to what happens. And I guess to answer your second question, my most proud moments, I think it really was just on a personal note. When I went to Israel, pretty soon after October 7th, I went around December, and I was so happy to visit the soldiers and let them know how grateful we are for their sacrifice and their bravery. And the one thing that always stays with me is that the Jewish people, no matter what we're faced with, there's a resiliency that is so humbling. And I just think I felt so fortunate and so proud to be able to go to Israel and let them know that the Jews in the diaspora are thinking about them, praying for them, and we stand behind them.
Beautiful. I love that. And just to follow up on you guys said, Lizzy, the most powerful moment for me was at the bat mitzvah when Noam came up to me, who is this gorgeous guy. I can say that.
He literally looks like the Jewish Ricky Martin.
Yeah. And he's a soldier. He's fighting in Lebanon right now. And he came up to me and he said, Ari, I follow you. My battalion follows you. And we love what you're doing. We thank you for what you're doing. You are inspiring us. And my mind was blown because there's no way I should be inspiring a hero soldier in the most moral army in the world who's fighting for the survival of Israel and the Jewish people. Yet he said this to me, but it made me feel like I was actually doing something. I know that they follow you guys. I know they feel the exact same way about everything you're doing. And, I said this at the movie premiere, but the greatest gift my parents gave me was making sure I knew I was Jewish. I'm so proud to be Jewish. I'm a proud girl dad and boy dad. And there's nothing more important to me than passing that pride to my kids and the generation after that. And hi to my daughter, Simona, who's watching right now. Well, have to make that plug. So just quickly, why Aish and why you guys were running with Aish and why this Congress? Tell us what why you're doing this.
I have a pretty deep passion for the whole concept of the World Zionist Congress. I've studied the history of how Israel became a state in detail, and knowing that it really all began in 1897 with the first ever World Zionist Congress, which there were actually women in the first World Zionist Congress in 1897. So here we are, keeping that chain going. And I think initially it was really the foundation for what we know as Israel today. And the work that they've been able to do over the past 125 plus years is so important. The reason that Aish is the platform I want to run on, that a slate that I want to be a part of, well, number one, because I love Tanya and Ari and Zach and Shabbos and Jamie and Rabbi and everyone. But the reason Aish is because I really firmly believe that if we don't know who we are, then we don't know what we're fighting for. And so everything really comes down to Jewish education. And we've had so many Jews that have had an awakening since October 7th. In the same way that we have seen so many activists wake up, we've seen Jews in general wake up, and, you know, they're like, okay, so what now? So Aish is the answer. Aish is education and understanding our biblical connection to the land of Israel and beyond. And there's no slate I'd rather be a part of, mostly just because you're so beautiful.
Tanya, briefly, because they're calling me off this right now. So
I'm running on Aish's platform because I believe in the mission of Aish to educate, and it's an opportunity to shape our Jewish future. And as a mother of 5 children, when I think about the values that are so important for Jews to connect to their history and to stand so proud and tall in who they are, you know, we have seen anti-Semitism in our country and of course around the world, but be so present, and people are just so comfortable expressing anti-Semitism. And the beauty of Aish is that by instilling this strong sense of Judaism rather than cowering in the face of anti-Semitism, I find that we are able to teach, you know, children and other students to stand up in the face of anti-Semitism. There's nothing more defiant than being a proud Jew in the face of so much hatred.
Amazing.
Oh, so beautiful.
Ari, I want to hear why you're running. Why are you running, and why are you running with Aish?
I mean, it's everything. It's all the inspiration you guys are doing tonight. You're fighting anti-Semitism, Jewish education, supporting Israel, Jewish unity. All the stuff that I basically live for is your platform. So why would I not be a part of this amazing program? And I just heard tonight that you're having an incredible party, you know, for the platform when we win. So why do I want to? Of course, I want to be part of that as well. I know, and I can't
Ari never misses a party.
I never miss a party. Tanya and Lizzy will be right there with me because we go to every single event together. So we will have a good time at these parties.
We will share an Uber.
That's right. We will definitely share
Ubers. You don't get to pick one. You guys get all 3.
That's awesome. I want to thank Tanya and Lizzy because we didn't get to the questions about what great moms they are and how they're kind, loving, supportive, and how they're teaching their children to be proud Jews. And I'm so proud of that for them as well. And thank you guys for allowing us this time and for giving us a few extra minutes overtime to discuss this amazing program and slate you guys put together. Thank you all.
Thank
so
you.
So much love for you. Ladies, hi. We can do one more show with you. So next time, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank
Bye,
you, Rabbi.
Guys.
Thank you, Ari.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you.